Morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour, Joe and Jason. Well, today it'll just be me. Jason's working on another project. Apologize for Friday. I was actually out of town. And then we had some unforeseen technical difficulties. So the show did not go on Friday, but we're back today. 800-951-0592, the website, allamericangold.com, and it is Monday. The market's now waiting. We're a little more than a week away, so not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, we'll hear again from the Federal Reserve. A lot of people are in hey, we're going to get another quarter-point rate hike. And then it talks of pause, so we'll have to wait and see. But I've got Joey with us, my son Joey, Northwestern Mutual, the non-bank facility. I don't know if you guys saw it over the weekend. 11 banks downgraded by Moody's. On top of that, borrowing from the central bank, which had been declining for the last 3 weeks or so, all of a sudden shot back up again. So, again, we know the banking problem isn't over. We're just not sure how it's going to manifest itself. But, Joey, that's why people are calling you.
Yeah, it's exactly why a lot of people are reaching out is, I have all this money in the bank. What do I do with it? And one of the problems I'm seeing with a lot of people that they'll have 100,000, 200,000, $1 million, right? You name it. The banks aren't letting them take out all of their money at a time. So I can only take out 10,000 or I can take out 20,000, right? And a lot of people are losing access to that liquidity that a bank would promise them. And that's sort of why a lot of people enjoy working with us, because we're not a bank. But we are very conservative with our money, and when people invest with us, hey, your money's liquid and accessible to you. Obviously, if it's an IRA, 401k, those dollars are kind of limited. You get a penalty withdrawing those. But when people open up accounts with us, they do money markets, whatever it may be, that money comes to them whenever they ask, no questions asked, right? We're not a bank operating that way. And that's essentially why a lot of people enjoy working with us. Listen, we are going to do right by you. We're going to do what you ask of us, which is give you a great service, fulfill our fiduciary standard, and really do what's in your best interest and not have to worry about at the end of the day if I call Joe that I'm not going to get my money back. Because let me tell you what, if you need it back, you'll get all of it within the 3 to 5 business days. So that's one reason why a lot of people are contacting us. And another one is just to find out how we're tracking today based off of what we're currently doing. Always nice to get a second look under the hood of what you've got going on. Maybe you already have an advisor, or maybe you think you're set with the 401k, or maybe you're relying on Social Security. Well, let us take a look at that, and we can draw up an analysis for you and show you how you're tracking for your goals. And then from there, we can decide, hey, what should we implement? Or, hey, you're bulletproof. Let's retire earlier and do more vacations. Right, so that's why a lot of people reach out to us. Is one, to get a better understanding of their plan. Two, to get out from under the banks. You know, I can't tell you what's going to happen tomorrow regarding that. And if someone can, they're probably on the beach in Florida right now. But really making sure we're putting our clients and everyone we talk to in a better position than where they were before.
Yeah, you know, when you're talking about these things, one of the cool things, having been through it, I can tell you is you sit there when you're talking to Joey and you're like, well, this is kind of how I envision my retirement going, right? I'm going to have X amount of dollars saved. I'm going to get this much from Social Security, and I think I'll be able to take this amount of monthly from my savings. And Joey, you guys actually can calculate that out and show people, hey, you're trending way above, or you're trending way below, or hey, you know what, you can get there, but we need to institute a couple of changes to make that happen.
Yeah, that's exactly precisely what we do. I don't just pull up recommendations out of thin air, right? It's numbers, it's math-based, but what I want to emphasize to a lot of people is they always feel like, hey, I'm not tracking for my retirement goal. I don't know if I'm going to retire when I want. And I want to urge to you that that's probably not the case. There are probably just some little things we can add on to it year by year, get you to where you want to be. You know, the worst thing we can do is just be paralyzed from all the smoke screens going on. You know, life is tough. It is crazy. Some days you don't want to get up. You don't want to do anything. Why people partner with us is because we're going to wake up every day and we're going to go to work, make sure that we're tracking for your goals. It's just as important to me as it is to you that we get there. Right? And if we're not tracking, well, what are some small things we can do to start to get there and then build on to that? And if we are tracking, awesome. Let's plan more vacations. Let's go on a Disney cruise with the grandkids. Or we retire earlier. And then also, on top of that, let's generate some income that comes into you guaranteed if you're tracking, not tracking, whatever it may be. But it's all about figuring out where we stand, what really matters to us, what are we planning for, and then execute on a plan to get there and working alongside someone who's in line with your values and really takes this seriously. I put a lot of pride into this work. And my only guarantee is that I will work hard for the next person to keep your business and make sure we're doing the right thing by you.
We'll be back with more with Joey. Stay with us. Patriot Radio News Hour on this Monday. Eight 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe Jaquint here, solo today. Hopefully we'll have Jason back with us tomorrow. But we've got my son Joey, as we do here every Monday from Northwestern Mutual, the highest rated financial company, I think, in the world. Joey, am I overstating that?
It is in the world. We're AAA rated. Dude, we just do right by people, and we don't get into risky investments because being a part insurance company, it doesn't allow us to behave like these banks that you're seeing fall under. We've got great management. On top of, I have a great team in the background backing me up as well. So, yeah, we are AAA rated. And, I mean, in terms of secure companies, you're not going to find one better than Northwestern Mutual in the financial space.
And you're talking about these analysis that you do that allow people to see how they're tracking towards their retirement. And I know a lot of people, I would. What doesn't every company do that? But the answer is they really don't.
Yeah, they really don't do that. They'll listen to you. They'll figure out, all right, how many dollars is this person saving a month? How big is their account? And then they're going to open up that account. And they're going to have you put money into that monthly, whether or not it's the best decision for you. When you do these accounts, it's important to know the tax side of things, right? And it's important to know, why am I putting money into this account? What problem is this solving in terms of the goals I'm planning for? And the reason why we show the analysis and do it is so that we educate everyone we talk to. Hey, this is why we're funding into this. It's solving XYZ problem, right? And we continue to add on to this plan because things are going to change. And it's really cool to visit your plan from the first time we talked. Then 3 years later, you're going to see the plan and how much it's changed and how far you've grown. That's why we do the analysis, is to include everyone in the plan. We're all educated on what's going on. And then it's just really cool to build something. You know, I think a lot of people appreciate seeing where they start and where they finish. It's a really awesome exercise to go through. And to be honest, I'm a visual learner. If I just sat here spitting at people, not showing them what we're looking at, dude, I wouldn't follow a single word. And I think that's where a huge disconnect is for a lot of people when they're talking to other planners or advisors, is there's a disconnect on what matters to you and what you're truly trying to achieve.
Yeah, and it's something where I think that's the best part about it is you guys get the input from the customer, and again, seeing it and watching your plans unfold and being able, a year later, 2 years later, 5 years later, 10 years later, seeing all the progress that's been made. And again, like Joey said, stuff changes. Then, the next time you talk with Joey, say, hey, you know what? I want to change my plan a little bit. Now I've decided that, I got this promotion and I want to up what I'm going to be able to spend in my retirement. I want to plan for a big family, whether it be a cruise or a big family vacation. I want to, my wife and I want to go to Europe for a month. We also want to maybe buy a retirement home close to where our kids and grandkids are, right? And those changes can be made.
Those changes absolutely can be made and need to be made. There's nothing fun about planning for something you don't want to do. You want to plan for the goals you have. For example, last week, one of my first clients called me up, similar ages me, like, dude, I'm having a baby. Let's plan for it. We sat down the next day. We put a plan in place, opening up education accounts for him and his wife for their newborn, right? And made sure we're planning for the new expenses. Kids aren't cheap. I would know. Everyone here knows kids are expensive. It greatly increases your living costs. But guess what? We attacked it head on. We got something in place before the baby's going to be born. We've got a new budget, got new vehicles, working for the goals that we have today. And now they're completely pumped up. They don't have to worry about the financial aspect of getting this income to come in. All my bills going to be paid for, yada, yada, yada. We ran through it all. And now they get to enjoy welcoming their newborn son or daughter into the world. There's going to be 1,000 things that happen in your life that's going to change your goals personally, financially. Can be good, can be bad. There's always a way to plan for something, and it's important that we've got someone in our corner. You go to work 8 hours a day. You go home. You make dinner. You do all the personal problems you have. Well, now it's 8 p.m. Last thing you want to do is go study up on financial tools, financial literacy, education, tax laws. That's what we're doing for you on the back end. Come to you prepared in the meeting and give you a brief explanation of this is how it works, and this is why we're doing this. And then plan around what matters most to you. We're not going to plan for something you don't care about. That's not exciting. But let's help you achieve your dream in terms of finances. We can help people get there. We don't make money appear out of thin air. But by doing the right things, we can certainly achieve our goals. We put enough time, effort, and work into it. So I want to emphasize to everyone, meetings with us, it's not like going to the dentist office or, I got to go in and talk about my finances again. All of my clients leave meetings pumped up, and they should be pumped up. Why? Because we're planning for the future, and we're getting things back on track. How good would it feel to know that you've got a plan that's going to help you achieve your goals? A lot of people don't have that peace of mind. So let's work together. Let's get these plans in place. And let's track for our goals. Life's too short not to achieve what we would like to achieve. Right? So reach out to me.
And again, Joey, a lot of people think that it's unobtainable. They're looking at their life, they're looking at their income, and they're like, man, I'm barely, I'm pretty much paycheck to paycheck, but a lot of people would be surprised what they can actually be able to save.
Exactly. It's so surprising on what we can actually save, and a lot of my clients find out. We go through a little budget exercise. Hey, we're usually always spending more than we think. If we've got some random streaming subscription, because there's a million of them now. Maybe we're doing too much DoorDash, Uber Eats. Right? There's a lot of things out there we're paying a little extra for it. It's crazy how much you can save, especially with a disciplined savings plan where, hey, I got my paycheck, I paid my retirement accounts, my taxes. Now I got a little bit coming over to my team and I where we put it in the correct vehicles for you, and you still got enough money to live on. A lot of people, when they've got extra money in their account, they're going to spend it, not because they need to, but because it's there so they can. So we help people get a structured plan in place to where you're saving your dollars every month and you don't even notice it. It's a really cool way to get plans in place and to get people in the habit of saving and saving for your future. And to be honest, it's really cool to see a visual in place to actually know what you're saving for and what you're trying to achieve there.
Joey, how do people get a hold of you?
Yeah, reach me at my personal cell phone number, which is 602-909-9048. Again, that's 602-909-9048. If I don't answer for whatever reason, leave me a voicemail or a text back, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And we will go from there and hopefully start a relationship that lasts a lifetime.
There you have it, Joey. Always great having you. We'll see you next Monday. That's Joey Jaquint right there, Northwestern Mutual. Get that plan in place. The sooner the better. 602-909-9048. We've got a mixed market here on Wall Street. Gold and silver were down on Friday. They're up today as we've gotten earnings season. We got a lot of earnings to talk about. Coca-Cola had great earnings. Of course, what they really had was great price increases. Unfortunately, a lot of companies on the other side, not so great. Lots of layoff announcements. We're going to watch these. As we know, job layoffs are up, 400 to 500%. Today, no different. Lyft, 1,200 jobs. Disney said round 2 of their layoffs started today. They excuse me. They now say 4,000 people have been laid off. They said 3,000 more to go. Bed, Bath, and Beyond. Well, it's beyond time. Looks like they're heading for liquidation. They did file for bankruptcy protection, but no buyer in place. This screams of a liquidation here. They've got 14,000 non-seasonal employees. They got something like 400 to 500 stores. But this one, it's been one of the meme stocks, that doesn't look very good here. If somebody does buy something of it, it's probably going to be a very small piece of it, if any at all. So most of those people, are going to be out of work, as Bed Bath & Beyond says they are looking to wind down, operations and most likely liquidate. And then Deloitte & Touche, one of the big accounting firms, they announced 1,200 more layoffs as again, we'll get one more jobs report, the jobless claims report on Thursday before the next Fed meeting on Wednesday. And again, I think this is going to be all about what it is that the Federal Reserve has to say at the meeting. We may hear from a few of them. I want to say that after Friday, the blackout period will begin. So if we're going to hear from any Fed officials, it will have to be by Friday. Once Friday rolls around, they'll go into blackout, and then we won't know until the meeting on Wednesday. We did get one piece of economic data out. It was the Dallas Fed manufacturing survey, and this has been kind of weird because the manufacturing surveys, New York was red hot. Philly was no good. We had globally that looked strong. Now Dallas, this one was not good at all. They were expecting a big rebound. Instead, they got a big plunge down to negative 23.4. The 12th straight month of contractions. And again, this is the Dallas Fed. The new order index was negative for the 11th month in a row. And unfortunately, wages and prices continue to increase. So this is a stagflationary type report out of the Dallas Fed. It's going to be interesting because I think this is no matter what happens. This is the thing that we expect. When I talk about what's my baseline, right? The central bank told you, well, we're baselining a mild recession. No, it doesn't work that way. The money supply continues to contract. We haven't seen this since the debt boom cycle started in 1971. And really what we're looking at is a situation where we're going to continue to see this stagflationary pressure, yet a deteriorating economy. And I wish it could be both, right? Hey, can we get a little bit, a mild recession to take care of inflation? That is probably the least likely scenario. We're going to need something a lot more significant, and I think that's what we're headed for. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break.